everyone, this is Charlotte. This podcast called Chatting and Doing Stuff. It's where I talk about things, shower thoughts, or talk therapy. And already someone's trying to get up my ass. I've been out of the house 10 minutes. Not even that. There is a disclaimer at the start of this podcast in the description of everything, because I do talk about sensitive topics, so if you don't want to hear anything about that. And this one is particularly sensitive because it's experiences possibly that have happened to me. Well, they have happened to me, but it could include them, I might not include them. If you're not ready to hear that kind of stuff, then don't listen. I also swear a lot because, you know, why not? Because it's not nice. It's like, I'm not nice. I'm not nice. But you know I am. But, you know, it's fun to pretend to be a villain sometimes. I never get the chance to anymore. So if you don't want to hear me swearing, and you don't want to hear me talking about people that have been generally pricks, you know, you don't have to listen. You can change the channel, turn it onto something more wholesome. Time Team, I love that series. QI, I don't know. Been watching that a lot with my mum. But you know, the topic for today is alcohol. It seems to be an anomaly in these day and age to not drink it, unless it's for religious reasons, or you know, which I find interesting. I live in Australia where there's a high dosage culture of alcohol. I come from an Irish-English background, again, alcohol. So, you know, I even had a grandma that was an alcoholic. So, you know, there is a culture of drinking in my lineage. So to be the one that doesn't kind of makes you an anomaly, an enemy. But it's people look at you like you're crazy. It's like, why don't you drink? It's like, you assume I was an alcoholic at one stage, because now you turn around and you go, I don't drink at all. It's like, I don't drink at all. I was never an alcoholic. I just don't. First of all, I don't like the taste. Second of all, I've had some fucked up experiences with it, which I do not want to replicate. Thirdly, it's a cleaning fluid. You use it for degreasing engines. It's like, why would you put it in your body? There's a lot of reasons why I don't drink. I don't think it's good for you. I don't think it's good for you morally. I mean, I didn't grow up with it in the house, in the family, so it's not something I've taken on board as something that needs to be done. I mean, my primary addiction centralized on sugar. I'm like a fucking love sugar. That's the problem. That's highly addictive, but nobody talks about it because it's legal and anyone can access it. You know, it's like kids can get sugar. And you've seen what happens to kids on sugar. It's, you know, it's a legal drug. But when the diabetes starts turning up, then we start worrying. It's like, clearly you've overdosed on sugar. It's like, my legs are gone, man. I just cut them all. The diabetes. So, you know, alcohol is a demonized substance, obviously, because of the overuse of it in general. Oh, hello. Bit more warning there, fucky. Dude. The thing is, primarily people should be using it in moderation if they're using it at all. I don't advocate using it at all because I don't see a point for it. I mean, it's a socializing substance, I would assume, or a crutch for people who can't heal or evolve. People use it as even a social crutch at some point because they've got that, oh, you bastards. Oh, you bastards. I have to do a Yui somehow. I'm still navigating the same sectioned off road. And I can't get that way. Oh, you suck dick. That is bullshit. I'm gonna have to circle back round. Cars only. Ooh, that works for me. Thank you. Universal Hand of Fate. That was put in about 20 years ago. U-turn. I like it. You never know. Fate has a funny way. But you know, it's been demonized because of the overuse of it and the lack of moderation people have towards it. And of course, it's an addicting substance, which has a lot of negative outcomes, particularly to the body. It's essentially poisoning your body. The effect you feel of feeling tipsy or drunk is your body's reaction to the toxic substances that you're putting in, as with when you get high, as with, you know, anything like that. Even if you've eaten too much sugar, you might start feeling like shit. That's a toxic substance. So I'm not going on a whole preachy, everything's got to be organic GMO shit. I'm just saying this is the reaction of these substances on your body. Live with it if you will, but I won't. So it's like, I'm not doing that. fucking hurts. I don't drink now because of basically the culmination of bad experiences that I had with my ex-boyfriend. If you listen to the other podcast episode, you'll know the kind of circumstances I went through with him. The breaking up and the getting back together because I was shit-faced and he took liberties. And suddenly we're together again. So, how are we fucking together again? The circumstances haven't changed. You're still a lying, cheating bastard. But now we're back together again, are we? There was a lot of confusion in that situationship, and it was definitely a karmic situationship that was fueled by alcohol. I mistook his hedonist lifestyle as something that could be interesting or different because I'm functionalist. Parts of me that are hedonist aren't particularly hedonist compared to him. I like clean cut, get it done. It's functionalism, which is very boring to most because you might think, oh, all she ever does is work and she doesn't have any fun. She doesn't go out partying and stuff like that. I don't want to. I've seen what it does. It doesn't interest me. I'm 40 now. Grow up. And to tell people that, to anyone in their 20s, probably think I'm a right arsehole. It's like, I am an arsehole, but I'm right. It's like, I'm fucking right. I'm not saying do cocaine because you want to be an interesting person, you know? It's like I'm saying it's bad for you. We don't want to hear that because we're either doing it or we like the idea of it. It's like, it doesn't make sense. So, you know, that's why the 20-year-olds hate me. So why aren't you doing it too? Because I don't want to. I've never done drugs. I'm naturally insane. Learning through suffering, motherfucker. Do it raw. Learn that way. Forget the drugs. But I've not had many good experiences with that particular substance, so I don't advocate for it. I'm not saying it's okay. I mean, they used to use it for its medicinal qualities. They used to say, you know, Victorian era, if you're sick, have a glass of red wine. I'm going, why? It's like, that would just make your body worse. It'll fuck you up. It's like it's killing your liver, which you're needing to heal any kind of sickness. Why? Why do you think this is good? But they also at the same time used to use leeches to bleed blood. So it's like these practices were stupid. I hope we've evolved since then. My mum, when she's sick or she's got the flu, will still turn to whiskey. And I'm going, that's not helping you. Firstly, you're diabetic. You shouldn't be drinking that shit at all. And second of all, it's making your body worse off for drinking it. She's like, oh. Right now, she's been told she's got low iron, which is interesting because she's got hemochromatosis, which is the body's, it's a genetic condition where you store iron. It comes from the Viking line. It's like sickle cell anemia in the people of color bloodline. You get that frequently in that particular subgroup. It's a genetic condition. We've got the opposite, where you don't get anemic, you actually store it too much and you'll find that you get copper skin and you get bags under your eyes and shit like that. It fucks up your liver and organs. That's a white person problem. Yes. But she's currently drinking Guinness, and this is so fucking Irish. She's drinking Guinness cans because she's saying there's lots of iron in Guinness. I'm going, fucking alcoholic. She's not an alcoholic, but I'm like, if that's your medicine, what the fuck are you doing? So she called me last night. She'd had 2 cans already. I'm going, what the fuck are you doing? She's like, my doctor says I need iron, because she doesn't want to do the iron infusions, which is actually what she needs, but you know, it gives her bodily issues, and she doesn't like it. But she's, you know, coming up to 70 now, and she's like, fuck it, I'll just drink. It's like, that's not the solution, Ma. But that's her solution, apparently. It's a culturally, you know, acceptable conclusion. She was bragging the other day about how she drank with all of us kids when she was pregnant. I'm going, this is not good. You're not supposed to be drinking at all when you're pregnant. So how do you turn out all right? All of us are mentally fucked in one way or another. Why are you bragging about this? It's insane. It's a cultural acceptance of this is okay. It worked for the last group of people that came before me, so it's going to work this time. It doesn't, though, because it's a dependence on alcohol, which is culturally manipulated to be acceptable. And some cultures don't have alcohol as the central point of their, you know. I mean, for some people, it's almost bordering on religious. It's like, we have to drink. It's Christmas. We have to drink. It's Easter. We have to drink. Get some pastry. It's a wake. It's a funeral. Let's get shit-faced, you know? It's like, fuck it. Just find a reason to drink, goddammit. but I dodged that, I think, because first of all, we didn't do Christmas growing up or Easter. We didn't do any of those religious festivals because my mum was a Jehovah's Witness, my dad was an atheist. So we dodged alcohol in that sense. And in the same way, there was no alcohol in the house because my grandma was an alcoholic. And so my mum said, we're not having this in the fucking house. And my dad's not a particularly big drinker as far as I know, although I've always paid him for favors with a beer, so I don't know. It's like he lodges my tax, or used to lodge my tax for me after I do all my own taxes, but he'd lodge it for me because he's actually got the access to the hub and that. But I pay him in like a block of beer. What is that? It's not the little boxes, it's the big, a slab of Guinness. And that's how I pay him after lodging it for me, checking it all over, because he was the accountant. But at the same time, it's like he never really, I don't think he ever drank it, and now my mum's working her way through it. So it's like, well, it's not going to waste, so I'm all right with that. And I wasn't going to drink it. But, it wasn't in the home, so it's not a focus point for me now, as I didn't grow up with it. It wasn't around us. Everything we had was locked away maybe in a liquor cabinet, which my brother kept breaking into and then replacing with water. So I think they noticed. This vodka's very watery. So my brother's like, but my brother was the Bart Simpson of the family, so he got away. He didn't get away with it, actually. He got in shit a few times about that. But my first encounters with alcohol were basically when I was about legal age. It was never a case of, I'm going to try and be sneaky about it and stuff like that. I was a very good girl growing up, mainly because I had the shit kicked out of me. Not always a blessing, but sometimes, helpful for avoiding, habits. But at the same time, it just wasn't there. So when I was in my early 20s and I was starting to take on this idea of you're in your 20s and you need to start experimenting with alcohol because your friends are doing and all this extra shit, I didn't really get in depth with it. I did a little bit of it. I went to a couple of house parties maybe. It wasn't really my thing because mainly it involved, interacting with people, and I'm a natural introvert. Alcohol's meant to help you, supposedly, when you're an introvert, loosen up enough to talk to people. It didn't. It made me subject to exploitation, which I didn't like anyway. So the first couple of times, not with my actual friends that I'd grown up with and gone to high school with, but with a subgroup, which my ex-boyfriend was pretty much leading as well. I was starting to drink at that age when I first met him, my ex-boyfriend, early 20s. And I went to a few of his house parties, and this is when all the weird shit happened with you start getting that first taste of what people will do with alcohol to get laid. And that was my first negative experiences with alcohol, was him, getting me shit-faced and fucking me. And I was only in my early 20s, I was not ready for that, and he's violent. So he was violent then, he's violent now. It's like, except then he had his girlfriend Jess at the time. And you sit there and think, well, if a girl's with him, it's not going to be so bad, right? And then it was still bad. It's still horrible. And it still hurt. But you're like, I want to be part of this group and I want to be accepted, so I'm just going to let it happen. Dumb fuck stuff in your 20s, right? You're like, I want to be part of this, so I'm just going to let it happen and I'll just take the hit. And looking back, it was the stupidest fucking thing I said, because what if I'd fallen pregnant to this prick? Again, more consequences that we just don't think about. The second chance I got with him, I tried drinking then, I didn't really pick it up, and then I dropped it altogether because it didn't interest me. And then I, started getting serious with my ex-husband, because this was, we'd broken up for a little bit, got back together. In that little bit where I'd broken up, I'd actually had sex with fuckface. And then, that stopped, and then I got back together with my ex-husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, I think, although he never finalized it. Again, another one. But then I was with him for altogether 10 years, and then we got married, and I just didn't need to drink. It wasn't until I was approaching the end of that marriage that my ex-husband started saying, hey, we need to go out for drinks and stuff like that, and I want to go and do social stuff. At that point, I assumed, even though he was this uber healthy freak kind of guy that was taking supplements and doing weight training and shit like that, because he never touched drink anyway, but he started dabbling in things like weed brownies and going out drinking and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there going, I've known you since we're 17. This is not what you do. So, you know, suddenly I assume that someone came out of nowhere and started trying to influence his behaviors and stuff like that. It's like someone has suggested to you that this is the thing to do, and you're going with it to try new stuff. Now, you're already 10 years deep, 16 years deep, because we were married at the time, 16 years deep into an established, somewhat stable relationship. Why would you choose now to fuck it up? I was teetotaling at the time. Only towards the end did I say, okay, so let's try some new stuff. We'll go together. I never did the drugs myself, although he did bring a cupcake home for me. And it's like, there's one in the fridge for you, one in the freezer for you. I'm not eating that. It's like, yeah, but I brought it home for you. It's like, I got it from, it was a Ben and Jerry's, which is funny. It was the friends he made at the time. It's like, these were the ones that had the weed in their fridge. And I'm like, I don't understand this. I'm not doing it. I don't want to. I'm drug free altogether. I've never done it in my life. I think the closest I got to taking drugs was like getting a contact high off my ex-boyfriend smoking it before he fucked me. It's like that's as close as I got, really. It didn't interest me. Doesn't interest me now. But you could see the way that the relationship was degrading into bad toxic traits with alcohol and drugs, because, you know, this was a new thing to me. This is not something I understood. I don't want to participate in this. I know it's wrong in my bones and I don't want to do this. So that contributed to the breaking down of the relationship, because I didn't recognize this person that I had married and known since he was 17. Now I was, what, 30 odd. It was in my early 30s he started this shit. Early 30s, and I'm looking, I don't recognize you at all, and it's starting to not feel safe. So that's when I think that someone got involved in our marriage. A third person started, because these were traits that I never saw in him before. I'm going, where the fuck has this come from? So I'm like, this is a sign something's happening. I tried for a smidge drinking, because we used to go out to see UFC fights and have chips and beer, and we'd watch the fight, which I would still do, except I don't drink, but I would still go out to a fight. I like those. It's fun to watch. But I went back to teetotaling after I left him, and that was only for a blip of maybe a year that I actually went out for drinks and fights. It's just not in my nature to drink. It's not a habit I picked up and kept. I'm more inclined to eat a box of biscuits than, you know, drink a pint of beer. I prefer, plus it tastes horrible. All of the alcohols taste horrible. And the ones if you're trying to find an alcohol that doesn't fucking taste horrible, why not just not drink a substance that's not got alcohol in it? So why are we drinking this shit that tastes fucking foul, makes us do dumb shit, and is expensive? It doesn't make sense. That's one I couldn't get my head around. So after I left my ex-husband, I went back to teetotaling, as it just wasn't in my nature. And then I picked up 2 years later with my now ex-boyfriend, who was the guy I, fucked in my early 20s, who was drinking back then as well, drugs and all that shit. Thinking maybe 16 years later he might have grown or evolved into someone who was responsible. I was fucking wrong. Now his way of picking up girls is to get them absolutely shit-faced and not accept the word no. And then rough fuck them while he's on Viagra and weed, so he doesn't feel a fucking thing while he's essentially punching you in the uterus for hours. And he thinks that's some Casanova seduction thing. That is not sustainable. First of all, it's assault, sexual assault, and coercive rape. So whether you want to press charges on that, that's up to you. But it was also his method of getting us back together every time. I'd leave him because I was sick of the abuse, or because he cheated, or because he's a lying asshole, or because he was just generally disgusting as a human being in terms of how he treats people verbally, or, psychologically. He's just constantly digging, negging. And eventually I'd leave him, and I left him like 5 fucking times. But every time I come back together with him, it would be, I would say, do you want to go for coffee? Because I just want to check he's all right. This would be a couple of months after. And he would turn it into, oh, let's go out for drinks. Or no, it was never drinks. It was never that fucking straightforward. It was a case of, I'd say, let's meet up for coffee. And it would be coffee, because I mean coffee, I don't drink. And then it would be a case of, let's go out for lunch. I mean, all right, where do you want to live? Now, we lived in a place where there was a multitude of places you could have gone that were non-alcoholic, which were lunch. it was a tourist town. You could go fucking anywhere. Every corner had something you could eat that was non-alcohol based. But every time we went out, it would be somewhere like a pub. It would be a pub. And he would start drinking. And I'd be like, well, I can have one. And then one would turn into 2, 3. And then I'd be shit-faced and I can't get home. So I would have to, you know, he'd be like, why don't you just come crash on my couch? Or let's go to my house to talk about this. And it would be a case of, this is just a way for you to grease your way into my pants again. And it would be a case of him seducing me, which was actually coercive raping me, into, you know, some kind of arrangement where, again, he would never put a label on it, but it would be like, oh, we're together, or some kind of emotional binding. It's like, oh, we had sex again, so of course we're back together. It's like, that means we're back together. You know, and it fucks with your brain. And if I'd never actually agreed to drinking the alcohol, I would never have been in that situation, because I know with absolute clarity I wouldn't have gone to your fucking house or your couch or put up with your shit. So, you know, it's high risk shit, and that's why I just don't drink anymore. It's not worth the hassle of dealing with it. So when this guy comes up to me at like 10 o'clock at night, or even afterwards, he sent me a second text saying, do you go out at night not in term? Because he's assuming that the reason I don't go out at night is because I'm working. The reason I don't go out at night, dude, is because I don't want to get raped. And it's all friendly up front until you get what you want, or close to access to what you want, and then you just override any no. So it's like, you're not getting it. This has got nothing to do with work. If I wasn't working, I still wouldn't go out at night. It's like, I'm not stupid. And this is the barrier that men are creating by proxy for women. Women don't want to know you, anyone mentions this I'm going out at night shit, and we're going to look at you like you're a rapist. It's because you're doing stupid shit. The majority of these actions occur in the darkness and with alcohol. So it's like, a lot of these guys are predatorial. They're hoping that the girl drinks enough that they become compromised in their morality, or they're making the wrong decisions, but also ones that benefit the rapist or the man. If I get her to, you know, sort of falter on what she could do, all her inhibitions are just gone, because she wants, you know, she feels a bit more relaxed, she'll give in. It's like, that's why I avoid those scenarios altogether. It's like, if you want to know me, meet me for coffee during the day. I was like, I don't go out at night, I don't drink, I don't do all that shit. And that would have been possibly a bit offensive to that guy, because I think he might be too used to girls that do. I'm going, these girls have low self-esteem, dude, and they don't value themselves if they're willing to put themselves at such a high risk. Or maybe they haven't had it done to them yet, that they're just very naive, and maybe that's what guys are preying on. Hopefully these girls are naive enough to go out drinking with them, and what happens, and we're not going to talk about it because I don't want to, you know, out my rapist, or, you know, I don't want to point out that someone's done some fucked up shit in case his friends and find out and it hurts his reputation and shit like that. Meanwhile, this guy's spreading shit about you being a slut behind your back. It's like, I can read you fuckers like a book. It's like, you don't mind fucking over the victim and spreading shit about them and calling them a slut and stuff like that for fucking you while they were drunk, even though you don't accept no. But when it comes to calling out the predatorial habits of men, or, you know, the events that led up to the situation where this person got exploited, the girl's the asshole for doing it. It's like, no, you shouldn't have. I mean, why is it guys get the double standard where they can cheat on their girlfriend? It's like, oh, it's okay, I was drunk, I didn't mean it. But if a woman gets raped while she's drunk, it's your fault because of what you're wearing and you didn't take care of yourself, and all this extra shit. The double standards where guys get the free pass because, he was just did some dumb shit because he was drinking, whereas women don't get the free pass to do the dumb shit. They actually have to accept the consequences of what some other person did to them under the influence of alcohol. It's like, they don't get the blame. They get the third degree saying, what were you wearing? Who were you with? Why were you out at night? Why are you doing all this shit? It's the double standards. So if a guy gets raped at night because he's drunk, what's that about? So they get the third degree? Does someone ask them, what are you wearing? Why were you out at night? You know, I question that. So rather than have to face that scenario yet again, I just don't bother drinking or going out. And, you know, it's unfortunately one of those evolutionary traits that women have, because men are fucked up. Or some men are fucked up. But if you're not perpetrating, it tends to be a case of those who are not perpetrating are covering up for them or enabling them or trying to press that they're such a great guy because it never did anything to me, or, you know, it's like I've never seen him act that way, or, you know, he's such, you know, he's one of the bros, or he's got a bright future ahead of him. We're not going to, you know, label him as a rapist even though he raped someone. You know, it's always this second face that you're willing to let shit slide. It's like, just give him an extra chance. Oh, he didn't mean it. It's like, he fucking meant it. And my ex-boyfriend's favorite statement was, she knew what she was getting into. Favorite statement. Besides the fact of, you know, beside the other statement of, that's a you problem. It's like, she did not know what she was getting into. She did not know that coffee would turn into several pints and getting raped. What you did was took advantage of a substance which inhibits people's ability to make accurate decisions, judgments, and then you use lies and omission to manipulate her into giving up something that she wasn't ready to give up or didn't want to give up. Because the last time I got back together with him, I was convinced he was cheating on me. And how did he react? He got me shit-faced and raped me. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is why I can't even go near you. And it took me so long to get back to that pub, to even just, because that's where I do my typing, is where I used to hang out with him. Because I was afraid that he would be there and I would run into him. That is why it took me so long to show my face in that fucking building. And I don't know what shit exactly he spread about me, but I know he did, because it's in his nature too. He's that fucking petty. It took me years to want to go back to that pub, because I thought maybe this is some kind of exposure therapy. I'll go back there, I can understand what's going on, and I can sort of face my devils firsthand. This is where it started, this is where it continued, this is where the fucked up game started. I will go back, I will work here, I will sit in this inferno, and I will deal with it. For me, it was symbolic. I show my face around the place where he absolutely shat on me. Publicly, morally, physically, well, not physically. Oh, gross, Amber Heard. But you know, this is where I take my fucking stand. And there are some people that are still working there that may be a part of the circle still, I don't know. But to me, it was a case of, I'm standing here and I'm doing this now. This is facing my fears. I wasn't drinking because I drink Diet Coke when I'm working. I drink Diet Coke anyway. And I'm just sitting there typing, but to sit in the inferno of the events that occurred and the energies is still there, because you look around the room or the bar and there's still things, you remember things that have happened, what the events lead to, and it's facing that trauma and saying, fuck you, I'm here now, fuck you. So it took me a lot to do that. And I don't even know if they know what's going on or what happened or whose side they're on. To be honest, I don't give a fuck whose side they're on. I don't care anymore. All I know is that I got out and I got better for it. So if they have any kind of a problem with me without understanding the full context of what happened, because, you know, I left and didn't defend myself while he was behind and talking smack about me, you know, it's all a contributing factor as to why I don't fucking drink, because I don't want to look like a fucking schmuck doing that again. Trying to trust a man who abused me and then shat on my name behind my back. That's why I don't drink. That's why I don't go out at night. I am hesitant to hang around any of his friends. Like, the yoga guy was a friend of his, or is a friend of his, I don't know. So I'm hesitant to hang around him to see if he pulls the same shit. Because what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? If your friends are doing it, probably you're going to be okay with it. Or at least be a bystander to the abuse. You'll be fine with it. Because my friend is a nice guy to me. I'm not that person, so I don't have to worry about it. I don't judge. It's like, you fucking should judge. Because it's only a matter of time before he fucks you over too. In one way or another. He might not be trying to fuck you, but he'll try and fuck you over. And in this case, this particular case, he cock-blocked him. So it's like, spreading shit about me that is not true behind my back to a bunch of guys who potentially might want to be friends with me at the very least is not a good way to make friends long term. Because what he's trying to do is eliminate the competition. If he can't have me, then no one can. So he's going to spread shit about me, which isn't true. And if anyone's got the fucking balls to ask me about what I do and what I'm about, then you'd understand why what he says is bullshit. You'll see first-hand evidence as to why I don't go out at night, why I don't drink, why I don't sleep around, why I'm concentrating on getting my shit together, working on my businesses, getting my jobs together, I want my stability. You would know that what he spouts as this chick's undesirable and she's got issues and she's crazy is absolutely justifiable because of his treatment of me. You would understand that. But are they intelligent people? Who's to know? Who's to know? Have you bothered researching why this assumption or this image has been created? I don't know. I don't know. And to be honest, it doesn't fucking matter at this point, because it was such a small circle of people, and it has no impact on the long term of my stability or anything like that, as far as I know. Even though I saw like the signs about the yoga guy for like 4 years now, keep popping up on a daily basis. I'm like, I don't know what those signs are about, but honestly, the way things are looking, it would have been beneficial to him to know me. I don't know about beneficial to me, considering how he acted. So, you know, it could have had some potential for ripple effect, but I don't know if it's a long-term anything. It could have just been a learning experience. That's the thing to remember. So it's such a small lunchbox that these people are trying to be heroes in, that it ultimately doesn't really matter what the fuck goes down, except that I had a learning experience. I love this one. Elvis! Woo! But that's the thing, it's like, it doesn't have a long-term impact on what I'm going to do, because I'm just going to keep going. So even if this experience happened and these people think this way about me, I'm still going. This is a learning experience. I know what you people are about now. I've experienced it. It's just a case of move forward. I'm not going to come back to this. Facing my demon in the place of where it happened was just, you know, self-healing, because I'm not going to be afraid of it. I'm not going to be, even though he stalked me afterwards, that was weird. It's like, I'm going to sign up to your gym. It's like, you don't go to the gym. I'm going to sign up anyway. Fucking idiot. Fucking idiot. It's creepy. It's creepy. But, you know, it's a learning experience. And to be honest, if you've got any habits like that, drugs or alcohol or anything like that, you need to understand where it's coming from, why you're doing it, and is it worth carrying on at all? Like, I couldn't go out with another binge drinker because I already dated one, and I know it's fucking hell to deal with their shit. I don't want to deal with it again. So, you know, if you want to put your best foot forward in terms of relationship statuses, or even getting your shit together, oh my god, that's the nose of my car, thank you, breeder. You know, think about what you're doing, and is it worth carrying on in order to progress through life? I'm going to have to leave it there because it's 8:08. 8:08. It's a rap terminology. And I got to go look after my kids. Oh, we got senior graduation today. All right, so take it easy. Have a great Monday. If you're an alcoholic, maybe go and get some help, because, you know, it's killing you and ruining your life. I'm just saying it bluntly because it needs to be said. If we sugarcoat it, the fuckers you keep going. Don't let anyone get in your way when it comes to your self-healing. Some people will try and get involved, and they'll say, oh, it's not so bad. And it's probably because they're doing it too. So consider those around you. Are they supportive, or are they enabling your bad habits, which are degrading your life? Just a heads up. Take it easy, and I'll try and do another podcast tomorrow. Oh, it's Jonty. Hey, Jonty. Is he graduating today? I can't remember. Anyway, all right. See you later.